Hello everyone, back to today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next week to 10 days for today's second video. This will take us to around the 20th of August. And in fact, we're going a little bit beyond that in terms of the GFS model, which does extend out a bit beyond 10 days. But bank holiday weekend is getting very close now to the GFS time frame. It's part of the way through bank holiday weekend. It will be covering the full bank holiday period by the time we get through to the weekend this weekend. Bank holiday weekend updates will begin at Gaza sometime over the weekend. Not sure if it'll be tomorrow or Sunday, but those bank holiday weekend updates will begin very, very shortly. And of course, that will be closing then the summer event season at Gaza. It's been a busy summer of events, but we're winding down to the end now. So I'll bring you up to date with the shorter range GFS, ECMWF and GEM models in a moment. Just say that today's first video was JMA Friday, and that video is currently residing on the homepage here, so you can just scroll down a little bit and it's bobbing out. And essentially the JMA wants to keep a lot of settled weather going through the second half of August, but have a look at that, see what you think. Got some pictures to show you to start off with. So Mark Kanish sent this through of a completely dried up pond in the Wirral. So has been some rain over the past few days in some places, but doesn't look like there's been much there up in the Wirral. And then this one was sent through to us by our good friend Liam Kenwood from Maidstone. So Liam sent a picture yesterday of thunderstorm. He had another thunderstorm last night, some very dramatic looking clouds there in Maidstone. This was being sent through by Chailey Stone. Now I'm not sure where Chailey is, somewhere down in the southeast I would have thought, but Chailey had a thunderstorm last night, so a very dramatic lightning picture there. And then these pictures were shared on Twitter by our good friend James Ackrill. James, of course, does the analogues at Gazovitz and also keeps an eye on the solar tracker for us. So this is, I'm going to show you where this is. So it's Bishop Bridge in Lincolnshire. Very, very dramatic looking skyline there over the fields of Lincolnshire, with those really bright, vibrant colours. And really dramatic sunset going on there while James was ploughing his fields in Lincolnshire. So if you would like to have your pictures featured in the videos, then there are a couple of ways you can do them. So you can send them to us at gazovitz@gmail.com, email them to us. You can share them on your on our social media accounts. So if you're signed up to Twitter and Facebook, you can just share them with us on our Twitter and Facebook accounts. And also you can post them in the comment box at Gazovitz. And we're always happy to feature your weather pics in the videos when we get the chance. If you're taking pictures of lightning mode, do take care while you're taking those pictures. Lightning, very dangerous phenomenon, so always make sure you're safe before you take those lightning pictures. But if you have a chance, we're always happy to feature them in videos. And a big thank you to all of today's sort of people who have sent their pictures through to us. Big thank you to all of you. Now, there is some rain and some thunder around today, actually. So this is the latest radar picture from the Weather Outlook. You can see we've got really bright colours here across some parts of the country. Some very heavy showers. Got heavy thundery showers across Scotland, coming down into Northern England. More persistent areas of rain have been running through the Midlands into East Anglia and South East England. Also some really intense downpours around the London area, St Albans down to North London, and then also going down towards Southampton and into the southwestern part of the country. Let's have a look at the lightning detector. So we have got lightning flashing away. Got some lightning flashing away around Nottingham and Lincoln. Got lightning flashing away between London and Salisbury and Southampton. So there's been thunderstorms, there's been rumbles of thunder, flashes of lightning and hail going on today with those intense downpours. You see there is a general clearance beginning to arrive in the west, though. So these showers are pushing west to east, and more general areas of heavy rain as well. They're pushing from west to east. Things are clearing up in the west, and very gradually through this afternoon should see most of these showers moving away into the North Sea. So many of us will end the afternoon on a reasonably dry and bright note. It is quite chilly though. If we have to look at the temperatures, quickly overlay the temperatures, you can see they're very much on the lowly side. Look at that, we've got maximums there of just 12 or 13 degrees. Some areas where we've got that heavy rain. Out in the west where it's clearing and we've got the best of the sunshine, temperatures are sort of going into the upper teens Celsius, just about 18 degrees, for example, close to St David's and in Wales, and also going up to Western Scotland with kind of like mid-teens there, 17 degrees near Manchester. But to be honest, these are very cool temperatures. And bear in mind, just a couple of weeks ago, we was talking about Furnace Friday, and we was speculating we might get the temperature up to kind of like mid to upper 30s Celsius 2 weeks ago today. So we didn't quite get the temperature to 37 degrees, but there was a bit of speculation at the time that we might do. So what a change in just a couple of weeks. A huge drop in temperature has taken place, and it's really cool out there this afternoon. It'll be even cooler tonight, by the way. Temperatures are going to drop down widely into single digits, so you don't quite need to cover up your delicates yet. We're not talking about ground frost levels at this stage, but it is just a reminder, I think, tonight that we are now getting well on into the latter part of the summer, really, and it's not going to be too much longer at all. Maybe another month, maybe another 6 weeks, but it won't be too much longer before ground frost probably starts to become a little bit of a threat. So just a bit of a reminder from the weather gods tonight that actually we are beginning to get quite late on into the year now. Right, so these are the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. Just looking at London today, the red line here is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London. So it's cooler than average at the moment. We are below the red line. We are below average with those temperatures. Over the weekend, the temperatures will lift up. It'll turn rather humid, but it's not going to be particularly warm because there's going to be a lot of cloud around, especially on Sunday, with showers or more persistent areas of rain. After that, through next week, so going through this second half of August, looks like we're going to be a bit above average overall with the temperatures. But I think this is masking a little bit of up and down going on with the temperature ensembles at the moment, or will be happening next week. So we have got several ensemble members that at times are going very warm, but we have also got several ensemble members that are really quite cool. And I think within, you look at that and you think that it's just a huge amount of scatter. I think within that what's happening is that we've got a bit of a zonal sine wave going on. So we have warmer sectors coming through, and at times in those warmer sectors it will turn warm, possibly even for the south, very warm, but also there will be cooler sectors coming through as well, and in those cooler sectors you'll see the temperatures lowering down quite a bit, and that's particularly so for the north and western part of the country. So bit up and down with the temperature. Probably our first the first sort of zonal sine wave of this season, I would suggest. As we go through towards the autumn, we will see zonality becoming increasingly apparent as the Atlantic revs up, and we'll start seeing more evidence of zonal sine waves within these ensembles in the next few weeks. But I think I've got a little bit of zonality going on there next week, and so sometimes, particularly for the south, it will be warm to very warm, but at other times it will be cooler, and that's particularly so up in the north. As far as rainfall is concerned, we've got a bit of precipitation coming up over the next few days. So this is today's heavy showers and longer spells of rain. Then we've got more wet weather from Sunday taking place and through to the start of Monday. After that, then this is for London, so it's in the far southeast of the country. After that, we find it's not particularly wet. There are a few showery bursts coming through. That's with those cold fronts that introduce those colder sectors at times in between the warm sectors. So a few showery bursts, but actually quite dry into the second half of August with the GFS at the moment, GFS Zonal at the moment for London. If we was to look at somewhere like Manchester, in fact, let's just do that, because I suspect if we looked at somewhere in the northwest of England like Manchester, we will probably find more evidence of precipitation, and there you see it, definitely more precipitation there for Manchester as we go through the second half of August. It's not desperately wet, but it's definitely more rain in the northwest compared to the southeast. Again, that is all evidence that we're into a bit of zonality there. So we've got high pressure to our south, we've got low pressure to the north. At times those low pressure areas will bring warm sectors, so it'll turn warm, possibly some very warm days, perhaps up to the mid to upper 20 Celsius, still just in the far southeast. But as the cold fronts come through and introduce those cooler sectors, so you'll see temperatures tending to drop, and always most unsettled in the northwestern corner of the country. Temperature anomalies, averaging it all out, coming out a little bit warmer than average. It's not a big deviation, but from the 10th through to the 18th of August, generally a little bit on the warmer than average side, particularly so for England and Wales. Precipitation wise though, it looks quite unsettled for the northwest. You'll notice the southeast is a little bit drier than average, or average to drier than average in the southeast, but up the western side and up to Scotland, Northern Ireland, there we're seeing that precipitation anomaly is coming out a little bit wetter than average. Again, this tells us the weather will be coming through from the west, so we're probably going to have low pressure around here, and then we'll have high pressure ridging through there, which keeps it pretty dry through France and down towards Portugal as well. So high pressure will be through there, low pressure will be through there, and in between we've got the jet stream probably in that sort of position. So this is how the GFS is looking for Monday, and we're still under the weekend's trough on Monday, so you can expect showers, maybe still a few longer periods of rain in some places, but it will be clearing, I think, that rain through the course of the day. Then we go through into Tuesday and Wednesday. We build the ridge up from the south. This is what I was just talking about. We're into a zonal spell here. We've got low pressure out to the northwest around Greenland, Iceland. We've got high pressure down to our south and to our southwest, but wind is coming in from the west, and so is jet stream. So clearly that's a zonal west to east type setup, with the driest and warmest of the conditions in the south, the most unsettled conditions in the northwest. It could turn very warm actually around middle of next week. Wednesday afternoon, I'll not be surprised to see temperatures getting close to around 27 degrees in the southeast. That's around 80 Fahrenheit. But by Thursday, this is when we bring one of those colder sectors through. So there's some sort of cold front moving in across the country on Thursday in that sort of position, clearing away the warmth. The warmth will be going over towards Germany, and a cooler westerly cool sector will then be heading in from the northern part of the Atlantic Ocean. So that takes us into a bit of a cooler phase on the GFS ensemble. That will be indicated by the line of spaghetti dipping down a little bit. That's how we go through to the end of next week. So in a week's time, Friday 17th of August, we're still in this westerly flow. Looks quite cool and showery, particularly for north, and actually quite windy as well for Scotland and Northern Ireland. Into more extended range, so we're going up towards day 10, which is going to take us to Monday the 20th of August. Still looks rather unsettled, really, particularly for the northern part of the country. High pressure never too far from the south and the southwest, so reasonably warm, I would have thought, in the south, but most unsettled conditions up in the north. I mentioned more extended range beyond day 10. We get this area of high pressure setting up to our west, which brings round this rather cool northerly flow. I'm not sure about that at all. The GFS is chopping and changing in its extended range. We've gone into the bank holiday weekend now, by the way. Very end of the GFS run is taking us to Sunday the 26th of August, so day before bank holiday Monday. We're finding high pressure kind of like ridging close to the country, but it's within a relatively cool air mass. But I'm not sure about that period beyond day 10. The GFS is very much chopping and changing at the moment for anything beyond sort of a week to 10 days. ECM looks like that, so rather showery to start next week, definitely, and then through towards the middle of next week. So we've got this ridge building into the south. That's going to bring a lot of pleasant weather to England and Wales. Not overly hot, but it will be pretty warm. Temperatures will be into the mid-20s Celsius down in the south, but you'll notice it does actually look rather unsettled out to the northwest, with quite a deep area of low pressure in the Atlantic and the jet stream heading in as well. So more unsettled to the north, but quite dry and warm for a couple of days next week in the south. That is Thursday, so that's when we're bringing this colder sector through. There's a cold front in that sort of position, introducing this cooler and more showery weather from the northwest. By the time we get through to Friday next week, it's a week away, but we're into that cooler sector then. Bring wind in from the northwest, showers in the north, and probably some showers even getting through down into the south as well. But more extended range, so this is a warm front coming through on Saturday the 18th of August, just a little bit beyond a week away. There's a warm front heading in there. The cold front would be in that sort of position. So we're in a warmer sector there. That'll be a warmer day, particularly so for the south. Temperatures probably again up to kind of like the mid-20s Celsius. Then we go through to Sunday and we find that the colder sector starts to come through. We don't normally talk about this a great deal at this time of year. I tend to explain this more in the autumn and the winter when it's more impactful, but we're definitely going into this sort of zonal type weather with warmer sectors and colder sectors alternating. So that day, for example, Sunday 19th of August, actually introducing a colder sector of air across the country. And then go through to day 10, which is Monday the 20th of August, and high pressure is beginning to start to try and reassert itself. We have got this area of low pressure out to west, so that could go either way. You could either find this high pressure ridging up from the south and possibly getting us into a more general spell of drier weather. Alternatively, this low pressure could just roll in over the top and keep it rather changeable. Difficult to say exactly which way that will go. And then finally we've got the GEM, so again rather showery to start next week, that area of low pressure. Then through next week again we've got by Wednesday high pressure in the south, bringing reasonable amount of dry and warm weather there, but always more unsettled out to the northwest. There's that colder sector of air pushing through on Thursday, introducing that cool air from the northern Atlantic with showers, particularly in the north, and also quite windy conditions as well. In the more extended range, the GEM wants to build this high pressure up. Now, there's no other model showing this, but by day 10, we are actually back into quite a big area of high pressure. If I just show you the upper air temperatures, you'll see that they are actually very warm under that area of high pressure on the 20th of August. No other model is inflating that high pressure to that degree. But of course, in this pattern, where you've got high pressure to the south and low pressure to the north, it only takes a little bit of a break in the low pressure the jet stream to allow the ridge to build up, especially at this time of year, because the jet stream isn't overly strong. So we could get a day or two of very warm weather and dry conditions too in this kind of pattern. Probably wouldn't be sustained. If we could roll out another day or so, you'll probably find that high pressure pulling out into the Atlantic and allowing down a cooler northwesterly wind. But it's quite an interesting pattern because you don't associate August with being a particularly zonal month. But that's what we're looking at the moment. Anyway, for next week, 10 days, a bit of zonality coming along, and it's all just telling us really, but we are getting deeper into the year now. We're not in autumn yet, we're a little way off before we even consider that we're in early autumn, but it's just a little indication, I think, over the next few days that time is getting on. We're beginning to wind down this long hot summer. The heat wave has broken. There's no evidence that the heat wave, the real heat wave, is going to come back, certainly not in the next week to 10 days. And it's just telling us that we're getting further towards the end of the summer and things are beginning to move on. Not yet to an autumnal pattern, but sort of going to the end of summer type conditions. Right, so the weekend forecast tomorrow, when we'll be talking about all of this in depth. A lot of fairly dry and warm weather for the south in the week ahead, always more unsettled in the north and the west. So come back for that then. Don't forget to check out JMA Friday if you haven't yet done so. It's here on the homepage, so you can find it above the pollen count. But that's all for now, and thanks for watching.